I was folding laundry when I heard boxes being carried down my hallway, past my bedroom door. I set the towel down and stepped out to look. My daughter-in-law, Priya, stood in my doorway holding a stack of picture frames pulled off my dresser. "Oh, good, you're up," she said, like she'd been expecting to have this conversation. "We think this room makes more sense as a nursery. The baby's due in October, and honestly, the guest room down the hall works just as well for you." I didn't say anything at first. I just looked at the frames in her hands. One of them was my husband, gone 6 years now, on our wedding day. My name is Margaret Whitfield. I'm 71 years old, a retired school teacher, and this has been my house for 34 years. My son, Ethan, built an addition onto this house 8 years ago. A small in-law suite, he called it. So I'd never have to worry about stairs as I got older. And so we could all be under one roof. Every permit, every payment, still came out of my account. The addition was mine, deeded to me separately, even though it shared walls with the rest of the house. Ethan used to joke that he built it, so I'd never have an excuse to leave. The first 2 years, it worked exactly like he'd hoped. Sunday dinners, Ethan fixing my porch steps. Priya, before she and Ethan married, sitting with me on weekends, asking about my years teaching 2nd grade. I thought I'd finally found the family closeness I'd always wanted after losing my husband. Then Priya got pregnant, and slowly, the house started rearranging itself around a baby that wasn't born yet. My reading chair moved to the basement to make room for a changing table, just to see how it would look. My grandmother's quilt came off my bed one afternoon, replaced with nursery bedding samples Priya wanted to test in the light. Small things I told myself weren't worth a fight. One evening on the porch, Ethan brought it up directly. "Mom, we've been talking. Priya's due in 6 weeks, and the nursery really needs to be near our room, not down the hall. Your suite is just better positioned." I asked what that meant for me. He said the guest room was basically the same size. It wasn't. It was half the size, and it faced the parking lot instead of the garden I'd spent a decade growing. I told him I needed to think about it. He seemed surprised I hadn't just said yes. 2 weeks later, I came back from a doctor's appointment and found moving boxes already in my room. Not asking permission boxes, already decided boxes. Priya explained it as being proactive, since the baby was coming soon and they wanted everything settled. Nobody had asked me anything. They had simply decided and expected me to catch up. That night, I opened the filing cabinet in my closet and pulled out the deed. My name, only my name, on that addition. I sat with it a long time. The next morning, I called a contractor. Not to fight, to build a wall. Legally, my suite had its own entrance around back, put in years ago for exactly this kind of independence, though we'd never used it as one. I had it converted into a fully separate unit, with its own lock, its own mailbox, its own meter. 3 weeks of work, paid for quietly, finished while Ethan and Priya assumed I was simply thinking it over. When Ethan knocked on my new side door, instead of walking straight in for the first time in 8 years. I watched something register on his face. "Mom, what is this?" "This is my home," I said. "The one with my name on it. You're welcome to visit any time you'd like through the door." Priya, holding a laundry basket of nursery clothes, said quietly, "We didn't mean to push you out." "You didn't push me out," I said. "You just stopped asking if I wanted to stay in." There was a long silence. Ethan finally said, "We should have talked to you first." "Yes," I said, "you should have." I didn't slam the new door on our relationship. Ethan still comes for Sunday dinner, now knocking first and always leaving by 9. Priya sent flowers a week later with a note that just said, "I'm sorry for the boxes." I still babysit their daughter, born that October, every Thursday afternoon, and I've never once brought up the room again. People think the hardest part of being pushed aside is finding somewhere else to go. It isn't. The hardest part is realizing that the people who love you can still forget, without meaning to, that you were never something to be moved around. But a home with your name on the deed is a home no one can rearrange without asking. And self-respect, once you've rebuilt it, doesn't need anyone else's permission to stay standing.